Hi Verse, it's me the Angel Man here today to give you guys another video. So welcome back to Verse News. I'm kind of trying to do this in a little bit of a rush. I'm a little dressed up right now because I'm getting ready to head out. I got another quince kind of coming up this weekend, so I gotta go to that. So meaning new vlog is gonna be coming pretty soon. But anyways, putting that aside Verse, I just wanted to go ahead and get ready to talk about something that's been going on. As of the day that I'm posting this, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are already gonna know, but officially Logan Paul has signed up with WWE to become its next superstar, Logan Paul. And what's so interesting about this is the fact that he has teased that before. He teased it when he was on True Gordy's podcast. I didn't think he was actually gonna do it, but he did.
You were so good.
Thanks, dude.
You were amazing.
Thanks, man.
Even the whole wrestling world, you know, wanted you to be bad.
I know.
All of those kids who were praying, they were like, "Fuck me, this kid's actually great."
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. When I get that reaction, when I see the oh, fuck, he's good.
It's mental, man.
I only trained 2 days, dude.
Bro, that is fucking insane.
I am just scratching the surface with what I can do in that ring.
That is mental.
I'm so excited.
You're doing the frog splash. You're doing the fucking.
Just wait. I'll give it all. I'll give it everything.
So you're saying you're on board now? You've signed a deal with them, which I think is great.
Well, I don't know. I'm considering it.
And I do have some things to say about it, of course. But before I do, Verse, let's get to it. Okay, Verse, so I obviously have some things to say to give you guys my opinions on what I think about WWE, Logan joining WWE, and just Logan Paul in general, right? There's a lot of things going on with Logan Paul that is interesting, and some things that I really don't care about. But when it comes down to this, I found an article on IGN to get into a little bit more detail about the signing and to see more about maybe why did he do it, or maybe what could occur now that he did sign in. So let's just see. So here on IGN, Logan Paul signs with the WWE to become next superstar. The WWE and Paul announced the news on their respective social media channels, along with pictures of Paul signing his WWE contract. The YouTube turned wrestler also issued a challenge to The Miz, his tag team partner who later betrayed him. Yeah, let's see, there we go. There are the two images right there. We got Logan signing it, and then we got him right here. You know, there's Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, because Vince McMahon stepped down because of the hush-hush money that he did. I'll go into detail about that afterwards. According to ESPN, Paul signed a multi-event deal that includes appearances in several WWE Premium Live events, formerly known as pay-per-views, as well as appearances on the weekly TV shows as needed. Paul and The Miz faced Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania 38. I saw that. It was entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot better than I expected it to be. Paul's wrestling gear included the most expensive Pokemon card worn around his neck. Following Paul and Miz's story, The Miz betrayed Paul with a skull-crushing final. Paul and his brother Jake began their careers as content creators for video platforms like YouTube. In recent years, the pair has transitioned to other platforms, with Jake Paul entering the world of boxing and Logan now entering, basically he's entering the world of wrestling. They should have said that. Paul is also an avid Pokemon card collector to various levels of success. That I don't give a shit about. I'm an adult. I got better things to put my money on. I'm sorry. Okay, so, well, Verse, my thoughts on the fact that Logan Paul is now a part of the WWE. So what do I think about the matter? Well, let's talk about Logan Paul first, shall we? So Logan Paul, he's definitely entertaining for sure. I have to give him credit there, where credit is due. When it comes down to Logan Paul, he is interesting. And I say that because I am someone who watches most of his podcasts. Just like anything, right? Like, depending on the guest, you know, if it's interesting, you're gonna watch it. And if it's not, then, you know, it's really something that I feel like I'm not missing. You know, it really depends on the guest and most importantly the subject matter. I know Logan is one of the few podcasts that I definitely like to watch, and he's like second to Joe Rogan. Obviously, I fucking love watching Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is just awesome to watch, man. Like, I love watching a lot of the stuff, especially some of the subject matter. It's really interesting when it comes to Joe Rogan, man. So Logan Paul, when he first started on YouTube, right, I didn't necessarily care about him like that. I just thought he was just one of those YouTubers where basically online he just does dumb shit, right, and then he gets famous for it because most of his audience at the time were just young kids or young adults at the time. And, you know, and I saw a few things that he did, but most of the time I was just kind of like, he really got famous for just doing same dumb shit. Like, really? That was at first. And then Japan happened, obviously. I'm not gonna go into detail about that because obviously, you know, Logan obviously got a lot of karma, you know, back at him when that happened. So obviously he learned his lesson since then. He was off the grid for like, what, maybe a year and a half? He came back, and the reason he came back was because of boxing, because of KSI. You know, KSI called him out and his brother. He ended up fighting with Logan. And honestly, I didn't care about it at first, but then people were just talking about it. I remember when that boxing event happened, people were talking about that all the time. KSI, Logan Paul, who's gonna win? Who has more weight? Who has more muscle? You know, like who's stronger, this and that. Like, I was just hearing so much talk, and then eventually I bought the pay-per-view because it was only $10 at the time. Because I watched it, I liked what I saw, but unfortunately it was annoying because it ended in a draw, and then we had to wait another year, right, for them to get a result, and then obviously KSI won the fight. But regardless though, you know, you can't deny the fact that Logan's an athlete, man. Like, you know, he's done vlogs, pranks, he's done music videos at times. Now the best thing that he's doing that I really like to watch are his podcasts. I'm a huge fan of podcasts, like I said. You know, those are interesting, especially the guests that he be coming on. It's like they've definitely matured a lot when it comes down to subject matters of them discussing things. And now he's been guest starring in certain things like WWE. You know, that's something that I'm really interested in. Whenever it has to do something with boxing or WWE, I'm definitely all for it, for sure. I've been more into boxing now because of the YouTubers. It's because of the YouTube boxing that's why I, in a way, got into boxing myself. I got a little inspired. I'm kind of like trying to work my way in and try to do some things here and there, you know what I mean? And I was just really inspired about that because I'm just like, you know what, if I ever get an opportunity to maybe do that, I would love to. Like, why not? You can pay for it, it's fun, you're in front of an audience, like, why not? You know, like, first time for everything, right? But putting that aside, you know, like, just when they did it, it was entertaining. And, you know, Logan has appeared on WWE a few times. I believe his first appearance was on Raw, and then he obviously made it to the last WrestleMania. Jake Paul probably signed? Not really. I don't really see wrestling being like that for Jake. You know, he's more into boxing for sure. He's trying to get that 10-0 streak. When it comes down to Logan Paul and his Pokemon cards, oh my god, my friends fucking hate talking to me about that subject matter. They've heard me numerous times. They've definitely heard me on my podcast. Some of the controversial, you know, conspiracy of Legit Studio podcast, you know, because I interviewed everybody one at a time and we were talking about the issues that were going on. And a lot of what I had to say definitely had to do with the cards. It wasn't Pokemon. This was some other games. But yeah, you know, I used to be into card games when I was younger. I was really into them. I used to be in tournaments all the time when I was younger. But as I got older, I just got less interested in it. And then I tried to get back into them, but I just got more priorities, you know? I just got better things to do than wasting a lot of money and time on cards. It just didn't really fit into my agenda. And I know whenever the subject matter of cards come up, they hate hearing me. I fucking know they hate hearing me. And I'm sorry, guys, but I can't help it. That's just my opinion. I stand by it. I'm owning it. Okay, that's just where I'm at. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, you know, when I just see Logan wasting $3 million on some fucking boxes, I was like, whoa, it's not that serious. And I thought $200 was a lot. Damn, I take that back. And I have a little bit more respect for Logan Paul as the years went on because of just more mature things that he's doing. Other than that, though, when it comes down to WWE, let's be honest, WWE is kind of on and off at times, right? Sometimes it's really entertaining. Back then it was super entertaining. Nowadays it's kind of here and there. I say that because of their stories. Sometimes some of the matches aren't really as hyped anymore. Sometimes they have wrestlers fighting the same wrestlers in events that they were already fighting during the shows. And at times you're just kind of like, you're fighting him again in a pay-per-view? Like, we've seen this, what, 2-3 times already? You're kind of like, really, again? You know, I know a huge example was like Brock Lesnar against this other guy, I forgot, it happened a little while ago. Stuff like that happens where WWE becomes a huge turnoff. And AEW came out of nowhere, and then all the wrestlers from WWE went to AEW. And I think the majority of the reason why they went to AEW is because there's more creative freedom there. From what I've heard, Vince McMahon, before he stepped down, he was in control of everything, obviously. You know, it was his father's company, he took it over, he knows it inside and out, you know, he took out a lot of the competition. Like, I get it, you know, he wants to be in control, make sure it stays the way how it is. But unfortunately, at times, it was just really hard on the wrestlers, you know, they couldn't take it anymore. From what I've heard, at times, they would have everything down, you know, to get ready for the show, and then Vince McMahon would start making changes like minutes before the show would begin. That would have to be incredibly frustrating to deal with. And what I heard about AEW is that when wrestlers are over there, they actually work with the writers. They actually want to make their own story. Wrestlers, either if they feel like trying to be a bad guy, they'll work around it. If they want to try being a good guy, they'll work around that. No, they maybe want to try working with this person or that person, they'll try to do that. More creative freedom over there. I can see why a lot of wrestlers left WWE and went to AEW because it's more friendly over there compared to WWE. And because WWE knows that, that's why they were struggling in ratings, especially. AEW was killing it when when it came down to them going against WWE, especially in pay-per-views, by the way, for a little while. Now, WWE, from a business perspective, is trying to become more creative. If you saw the last WrestleMania, it was the Pirate one. Obviously, for sure, Vince McMahon did this whole thing where he wanted to thank the whole universe of WWE for being loyal, because he wanted to try and appeal to fans a lot more. Interesting strategy there, Vince. And I know another thing that he's doing is that he's trying to bring in guest stars and a lot of people with a lot of attraction. What better attraction than Logan Paul, am I right? Logan Paul, obviously, whenever he's in anything, he's gonna be attracting a lot of attention. He gained a shitload of attention when he went up against Floyd Mayweather, and now he's trying to get back into boxing again, or maybe MMA from what I've heard. But regardless of what it is, the point is he's just entertaining in general. So I can see why WWE did this, you know, Logan is interesting to watch now. You can give him credit there. Let me see, and Vince McMahon stepping down. Wow, when I found out about that, I was like, he did what? Like, yeah, that's how you know karma caught up to him. You know, it was only a matter of time, I guess, you know, for Vince. I thought he was going to retire within the next 5 years or something like that, because you could tell he's kind of getting to that point. So with that said, though, Verse, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like the fact that, you know, Logan supported the WWE? Are you guys against it? Let me know what you guys think about it in general. I'd be happy to hear you out. So with that said, though, Verse, if you guys like what you saw, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification for more content as always. Look forward to the next video, Verse, and with that said, have an awesome day. Later, Verse.